Right guys, we're back on the road and we're nearly at Linear now, about 15 minutes away. So I thought I'd just take a little pit stop, stretch the legs. See, it's got a KFC there, old box meal. Get fully loaded, get a bit of a sugar rush ready for the long hike to look for a peg, I guess. So we're going to try and get back on Manor. I say back on Manor. I've only had a look around it a couple of times, but we're going to get on Manor, hopefully, if it's not too busy. Hopefully we'll be able to squeeze in somewhere, and we're going to have a go for that old Kempy's Lynn. Now anything else we pick up along the way is just happy days. Plenty of big ones to go at. I'm not sure how this trip's going to turn out. Like I say, only walked around it twice. Never actually fished it personally myself. So looking forward to getting stuck in, really. Love figuring out new lakes. And after Manor Farm was a bit of a disaster trying to get bites on the bottom there. So overly populated with silverfish, like millions. And it's going to be nice to do a proper bit of fishing back on the bottom where things make sense, eh? So for now, they get tucked into this old KFC. And we're in Whitney and we will be at Linear, I guess, in 15 minutes from now. So I'll catch you in a bit. Well then guys, this is the bottom end of Manor Farm Lake. So this is the Manor. I forget what it looked like. I've only walked around it briefly a couple of times before. I've already done a lap round here, and then I've just done a lap round St John's, and I thought I'd just do one last lap round here, make sure I haven't missed nothing. And I don't think I have. The lake looks pretty dead to me. The place is absolutely rammo. It's a Monday afternoon. I thought I'd be able to get a peg, but I'm not just going to camp up and blank my nuts off. Ain't worth it. It's still going to cost me a lot of money. I've travelled 2.5 hours to get here today, so I want some bites. So St John's didn't feel right. Although there's a couple of people leaving off, there's a few pegs freeing up, but just don't feel right. Too enclosed from people fishing the other bank there. For those of you who come down, you know St John's is not the widest lake in some points. So yeah, the quest for Kempy's, I think, is going to have to be put on hold. And I think the biggest test is going to be other anglers, to be honest. I think I'm just going to have to try and make sure I'm in the right area. Yeah, oh, the fish come out right out there. The camera might not have picked it up. That's where I thought the fish would be. That's where I'm trying to get, in that area. That fish just come out. And that was just going with my raw bear instincts. It turns out I would have been right, but I just can't get anywhere near them. So I think when I do get on here, I'm just going to have to make sure I'm situated in the right area. And wait for the right situation to come along. I think to get this fish, I think a lot of things are going to have to align. The biggest test is definitely going to be other angle and pressure. It looks lovely and it's really warm down in this corner. I thought I'd just have one more look down here, just in case I've missed something major, you know. And I don't know if you can see, I'll move along here. It's a funny old shape, this lake. I don't even know what sort of shape it is. It's a bit of a funny one. But there's a couple of pegs over there that control mega amounts of water. Right over there. So yeah, no one seems to be freeing up and going home, unfortunately. And the pegs that are free just don't look very appealing. And not very carpy at all. So I think the only thing I can do for this session is, I've only done a couple of sessions since lockdown. Maybe go and have a look at Smiths and Hardwick, or even Brasenose 2. Try and get a few more bites under my belt and try and get a bit more confidence. And hopefully when we get back here next Monday, I'll be able to get in a bloody peg or two. Right, we'll leave it there for now. Save on the old bat. And we'll catch up when I decide what I'm going to do. Well then people, finally 6 o'clock, we've got a peg. You can actually see a fish out there on the surface now actually. Ended up on Smith and Hardwick's. The place is just rammo. Gone to the bailiff, the place is nearly full. It's a Monday guys, right? A Monday. You hearing this? He said he don't know what's going on, it's like a Friday. So I more or less just had to slot in where I can really. And it turns out I've got an absolute beautiful peg. I'm just going to turn you around here, look. I'm like in like a mini forest right down the end of Smiths and Hardwick. And it looks pucker. I'm well happy in the end. Finally got a peg, and do you know what? Not fishing for Kempies, but there's some big old carp in here and there's some beautiful looking ones too. And it's another new lake, you know, and you're still on that new lake buzz, ain't ya? Don't think it matters what lake it is, even if it ain't got 40s in it, it still gives you that new lake buzz, you know, cracking the code and trying to pinch a bite on a new water. And that's what it's all about. So I've got this little place to myself. I'm going to make it my own shortly. Just carted all the gear down on the trolley. Got the Barbie with me. So the plan is, well, it's definitely not going to get any busier because the place is pretty much full, every lake. So I'll probably put 2 in this peg, and I'll probably just wang one out here, maybe put a couple of spoms over it. I'm going to err on the side of caution with bait. I'll show you the mix shortly. I'm going to add a few items to it, but I'm probably just going to start off with 3 or 4 spoms. And on this one here there's a few fish in the zone, so I'm actually going to use the mini Corda spod. I haven't used that for a little while. I ain't pulled that out the old artillery for a while, but I'm just going to top that off with a bit of ground up boilie crumb, and just try and cap that off to stop the spewage out the back, and hopefully I'll be able to just lay that down quite quietly without smashing the place up with a spom. But out here in this one I'm going out a bit further, so I'll bring out the medium spom into action, and I'm going to keep the bait really small, I think. Real low amounts of bait, but try and put a scatter in. So I'm not even going to try and be accurate. Someone's got a screamer. No, I think someone was peeing about with their alarms. I'm just going to try and scatter it in the general area with the spod. I'm not going to be accurate. I want to create like a very thin carpet, as you will. So right, enough talking for me now. It's been about 3.5 hours since I arrived, and it's time to get crack-a-lacking. See you in a bit. Well then guys, I found 3 spots I'm really happy with. I've gone with all 3 rods really spread apart this session. I'm not trying to build a big hit, I'm just setting small traps for big fish, if that makes any sense. I'm not here for big numbers, I just want to set small little traps and try and get the odd quick bite here and there. But the idea is to try and get 3 or 4 bites stringing along on all different areas, and that's the main target this session. So in here I've got my usual mix: hemp, buckwheat, corn, all the usual suspects. Got a little bit of cracked maize in there, a bit of wheat. I've got some enzyme dumbbells here. Landing that pole falling down. Some enzyme dumbbells here. Got some nuts in little 10 millers. I've got some round enzyme there in 12s. So yeah, got it all going on this session. Got about half a bucket. This bucket's half full. It's quite heavy because it's got a bit of liquid in it and all. So to that, because I'm going to fish the spod and not the spom this time, one of the spots is too long, that's nearly 19 wraps. I will have to use the spom on that. But on these closer in spots, I've got one at 9 and one at 14. I'm going to bring the little mini spod into action, and I'm just going to, in here look, I've got some nuts, and this is the old Total Chaos. We've just changed the name to Z-Nuts because it is the nuts, literally. And you can see them, they're a lovely colour, real nutty, nice aroma, with a pungent, sweet, fruity smell, and they really do smell amazing. And these are freezer baits, ones I've got here. I've had these rolled up since last year, and all I'm going to do is crumble these up, excuse the Tesco bag, I just grabbed some out of the freezer this morning and just crumble these up. Bit of crumb, different sizes, and I'm going to use these to cap the spod. As I mentioned earlier, I don't want too much spillage out the back, and I've always done well on the spod back on bluebell when I used to fish bluebell and kingfisher, and I used to hit the spod with the water, and you know they say let the spod empty. I never used to. I used to flap it about in the water and create a big area, a big feeding area, because them fish are pressured and they're used to a lot of bait boats on kingfisher. And I'm going to try and do the same here. I'm going to try and create a big scatter of about, I don't know, maybe even a bit bigger than my Titan bivvy, say, but just a very light carpet. So I want the fish to browse. I'm not going to put no pellet in the mix. The plan is to fish a bit of pellet in a bag on the hook with a tiny bit of colour. So I'm going to have a bit of colour out there with the tiny little bag of pellet, and I'm going to fish that over the top of this, and hopefully we should get a bite. So it's 6 o'clock now, everything's looking good. I'm not worried about the house and that, we'll get that up later. Main thing is now, get these boilies crumbled up, the mix is ready to go. I've got one more ingredient to do. Well, that's pretty much done. I've done some of these. So you can see the colour of these is pretty special. I will add, guys, sorry about the website and everything. Everyone's trying to order bait, and basically this is how it is, guys. Basically with the COVID situation this year, we shut it all down temporarily, and then we actually moved premises, as you could say. So we moved the whole... Oh, fish just surfaced. That's a nice fish. We moved the whole operation. Another fish. Okay, that was in close on the close in spot. So we moved the whole operation to another venue, and we're still just finished putting the last few touches on it. I know it's long. I'm getting no end of messages. Why isn't the bait shop up and running? I do apologise, guys. It is just a temporary blip. Believe me, I'm not even rolling my south bait right now. We're just about got the machine set back up, and I'm using old bait from last year. Like I said, I draw these out the freezer. The enzyme dumbbells are what I juiced up last year and froze. So you know, I'm on the last shrapnel as well. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we should get up and sorted. But again, I apologise, and all will be good soon. So these are all nicely crumbled up now. We'll just add one more ingredient to this mix. In here. I'll just add these in the van. Don't know if you can see from there. But no, not from there, a bit blurry. But these are just little peanut chops. Just little dry peanut chops I got from a farm shop last year. So I'm going to put some of these in. Not too much. I don't want them binging on it. In fact, I didn't bring too much down actually. I only brought a few handfuls down. So this is quite a lot of mix. This is going to last me. We've got 36 hours, maybe 48. So let's be honest now. It's probably looking on more of the side of 48. So let's just get that in. That's it done. Only a few big handfuls there. The mix is in. Add a bit of white colour to the mix as well. And an extra little parcel for them to chew down on. So I've got no crumb in the mix, everything's left whole. The crumb will just cap off the top of the spod. So let's go ahead and get some bait in. Wow, look at that. The traps are set. It's an absolute beautiful evening. Just had a dose myself in mozzie spray. They're out in force. But you really got to make the most of these summer evenings now. Just enjoy it while you can. Looks a bit special out there, doesn't it? So yeah, people can say what they want about Linear, but bloody hell, I love this place. And I'm an avid carp angler, and the pegs are reasonably nicely spaced out, and there's just plenty of fish to go at. Every lake is well stocked. 40 pounds in every lake. There's 40s in here, plenty of nice looking 30s too. Don't get me wrong, there's a few small ones knocking about. I've seen them flapping about, dancing about, but you know, who cares? It's about getting out, getting a bite. I just did a car coming behind me. And there it goes, doing about 100 miles an hour. But apart from that, it's a stunning, stunning place. And it's just bursting with wildlife. And hopefully Mr. Carp will be along soon, and we'll be able to get him out and have a look. There's plenty of nice lookers in here. Both rods went out first time. They've been out about an hour now. I've had quite a few savage liners. I don't know if I got done on the right hand rod, but yeah, I'll leave it anyway. I've got a nice resetting rig out there. Hold on, one more carp. There you go. Just see a fish surface out there. Right there, you can just see the ripples right middle camera. So I've got these two bad boys out there. These are the shorter rods. Then literally walk you down here. We are losing the light, guys. I got the Lone Soldier just out. It's like a double peg. Let me step back. I'll show you around tomorrow properly. It's just there and there, and then I'll turn around. It's just like a double peg. Real nice peg. Beautiful little area. And there we are. So a different view out here. You can see the whole lake from here, more or less. Well, the whole lake of this side, anyway. Another liner. So yeah, this one's wanged out about 18.5 wraps. So the fish have actually been feeding on this spot. There might not even be any bait left, but I've got a bag out there, a bit of colour, so we'll see what happens. For now, I'm going to kick back and enjoy this beautiful evening, stick that kettle on, and enjoy what Linear Fisheries has to offer. Good morning, people. What a beautiful morning it is today. Fishless but beautiful. I've been up since 5 and I've been basking in the sun just up where the single rod is. And old matey just across the way there, centre camera, just landed a fish. Go on, boy. I think he's been here a couple of days as well. I think that's his first fish for a while. Fair play, mate. You got to just see it out. So we're 12 hours in now. I just paid this morning for a 48-hour ticket, so we've got 36 hours left to try and pinch a bite on this water. There's plenty of carp about. Well, there was last night at least. So let me just zoom back out. I've learnt a lot being up at 5. So that's the main thing, using my eyes to learn and scope the place out. I learned that where I've got these 2 rods situated, the fish just absolutely leave this area completely, more or less, at night. And they all push out sort of over there into the open water section. The bowl, you could call it, I guess. So yeah, learned a lot in the last few hours of watching. Definitely going to be mixing it up today. So the fish definitely get back in here during the day. Oh mate, he's just had a bite. I'm seeing the fish, I'm seeing signs of fish again now. But not until, what's the time now, what, 9 o'clock. So it's took him a good few hours to get in here. It's quite a weedy little corner. Obviously, as you guys know, weed zaps the oxygen at night and replenishes it during the day. So we're going to use this to our advantage today. It's a shallower corner. We're going to try and pinch day bites out of this section. And let me just walk you down here. I kid you not, it's like a dolphin show out here this morning. Never seen so many carp. Sit down on my other little perch here there. So I've been basking in the sun. Out there. All out that section, right up there. It's been mental. There's been hundreds of fish. Nowhere near anything I can get near. But what I shall do this afternoon, probably 2 o'clock time, is put a load of bait out in this area. I'm going to scatter 10 spoms out from there to there. It looks quite small, but it's bigger in real life. And I'm actually going to put all 3 rods on it tonight. All about, I'm going to try and get them 8 foot apart, so I'm going to create a big feeding area with a light scattering of bait and see what happens this evening. And then tomorrow again, when the carp go into the shallow corner, let's walk you back round, because they are just starting to enter here. They definitely get here during the day. It's full of weed and naturals. In fact, there's a lot of weed everywhere, to be fair, but definitely more weed in here. Yeah, we're going to get the brods back out here tomorrow morning-ish and try and pinch another day bite. Say another day bite, just a bite will do nicely. Want a bit of a dry spell from the bottom bites. So it'd be nice just to see the rod rip off. But I'm seeing clear signs of carp starting to move back into the area. And it's nice to see some bubbles. So obviously at Manor Farm last week, when I went down with the family, God, I didn't see any bubbling for like 2 or 3 days. So it's just nice to see bloody carp. Loving it. Right, so 12 hours in, time to get my move on and switch a few things about and get a bite on the bank. Right then guys, it's 4:30 and finally I got my first carp. Smiths and Hardwick. So loving it, and it's a beautiful little black common. I lost one 2 hours ago. I kid you not guys, right? I had this fish on and it weeded me up, just got it out the weeds, got it under control, and a bloody pigeon flew straight into my line, got tangled in my line somehow in mid-air and eventually pulled the fish. So yeah, to cut a long story short, so I was absolutely gutted, lost my first bite on a new lake. It's not what you want to be doing. See where it just goes. I'm going to give this one a little way. It's a beautiful little black common. hovering around the 21 mark, give or take an ounce or two. Buzzing with that. 20 pounder. What a beautiful, beautiful fish. Right, I'm going to get her up. Just ping the rod back out. So we're fishing again. Sorry for the traffic there, a big lorry just went past. I am on the road bank. Look at this guy. Man, what a beautiful little black common. Jesus. The fish I lost before was a common, I did see it. Looked similar size to this, I guess. Absolute cracking carp. What a cracker. Put their weight on pretty fast by the looks of things after spawning in here. 21 pounder. Absolutely loving life. First carp from a new water. Buzzing. Right, I'm going to slip this baby back. Mwah! Thank you, my little beaut. It's time to get some grub on the barbie. Well, 24 hours in now. Just the one fish to show for my efforts. Been working hard all day, swapping things about. You see it's turned a bit moody tonight. Looks alright for a good carp, I reckon. Maybe pinch a big gal tonight. Who knows. You can see I've just got the single rod here now. I decided to leave this here just in case there's a big gal straying away from the pack. I think the main bulk of the pack of the fish will be up here. And this is where I put 2 rods tonight. And I missed out on a good bite time this morning. Obviously it's the first time I've fished this lake. So I'm already gathering information. There's the other 2 rods. You see I've got them really high up. So obviously it's been a bit of a nightmare this session. I told you about a pigeon flying into my line when I had the first bite. Well, and then I had that common, and about 20 minutes after that on the right hand rod here that I put out long sort of in the bowl area, I had a run of some sort and it just cut me off halfway out. All my leader, my rig, everything. So I don't know whether it's a pike. I don't know whether there's pike in here or not. I need to ask the bailiff really. I don't know if it's a pike or a trailer or cut me off on some sort of bar or old tackle strung up out there. Could have been either one. So I've decided just to keep the rods quite high up now. In fact really high up. Let me move back. Really high up. Fishing them to a tight line. So I'm just about got the leader sunk. And a relatively tight clutch. So they can only like dick, dick, dick. I don't want to take hardly any line at all. It's very weedy out there. You know, even reeling in you can lock up just with a naked rig or so. So I'm not taking no chances. I'm going to be on my rods as quick as I can. I'm in the brolly. First night this year in the brolly. So I've got no front to get out of or nothing. I keep my zips open on the old sleeping bag. So I can get straight out of the bivvy, straight onto the rods. You can see it's looking moody tonight. It's still warm, still about 19 degrees. But I've got all the traps set. I just rebaited up on these 2 rods here. And we'll have to see what tomorrow morning brings. I'm not expecting much tonight. Anything tonight will be a bonus. I have found in weedy lakes, generally night bites are a bit scarce. But early morning is game on, I reckon. Hopefully we'll pinch one more bite. Be a bit of a disaster if we don't, to be honest. Especially after losing that good common. But who knows? Only time will tell. Hopefully the carp gods will shine down on me one more time. Right guys, it's about 9:30 now. I have to leave the morning updates till a bit later on. Just because the traffic behind me is quite savage from like 7 till 9. And now with further action I'm afraid. The fish just moved out of this area completely. They got on the new fresh wind and they moved to the other side of the lake. I've been seeing a few show right on the far bank over there. But just one of them sessions really. I got unlucky. I spoke to another guy. He said there's a lot of zebra mussels in certain places in here. So I obviously got cut off on that other run. So I've had 3 bites and only landed 1 fish, which is a bit unfortunate. Especially with a pigeon flying into my line. I mean, the chances of that is it's pretty slim, innit? But we've got 1 carp to show. We've still got all day today. I still feel confident of another bite. I'm fishing well. I think it's just one of those sessions where I've been a bit unlucky. But we're still here, loving life. I've just made a bit of brekkie, got some eggs on toast with mushrooms down here. I'm going to get that down me and reposition the rods. I'm going to try something a little bit different today. And if it works, if it gets me a bite, then I'll show you. Well guys, I'm running really low on battery. I've just had one of the fish that really brings you to this place, especially this lake in particular. Lovely linear carp, just under 28 pound, couple of ounces under 28. Absolute stunning fish. Weeded me up for a good 10 minutes, but I persevered, got it out. Had to go right out in the waders and try and get above the fish a little bit. Oh, come on baby. Full of energy. Stunning carp. Makes this trip all worthwhile. So I lost a couple and I've had a couple and I've learnt a lot. So the battery is going to die any second. I'm just going to quickly get her up so you can at least have a look. Look at that. Tad under 28. Loving it. What a beautiful carp. Jesus. And the thing is, I've seen it before it weeded me up, down just on the drop off there. And I knew it was a big mirror. Mwah! Great, great fish. Honestly, look at that. Absolute stunning linear carp. Quality. Definitely if I didn't have waders I wouldn't have got this in. I had to get properly above it. Got a little bit wet in the process. Let's have a look at the other side. Oh, wow. What an absolute beauty. So I told you I'd show you. I did a couple of little things different. Mainly with my bait strategy, and it's nailed this one. Look. Stunner. Absolute beauty. Oh. These fish are giving me a bit of a run around this session really. And with the new wind turning, they just eased out the area and I had to be patient and bide my time. Hold on, let's just drop it down. Just put a little bit of water on the camera. Let's get her up for one last look. Slip her straight back. And this one has definitely made my trip. Still got a good few hours left yet. Let's get her up. Look at that. Quality. Stunning, stunning linear carp. It's made my trip. And it's turned into a bit of an unlucky session into a great session. Quality. Not quite the magical 30 mark that I'm always looking for. But absolute beauty. Mwah. Right, slip this stunner back and we'll catch up in a bit. Well, finally a few fish have moved into the area and I've seen 2 or 3 shows not too far away from the baited spot in the last 20-30 minutes, and I also banged a lovely scaly little mirror about 30 minutes ago. So I've whacked on some dinner, had some bacon left. I'm going to have some bacon and some beef noodles and we're going to sit it out and try our luck for one last banging carp. There we are. Might not look the prettiest, but absolutely tastes spot on. Well guys, nothing but a lone rod left. Definitely been a massive learning curve this session. Do you know what, I'm glad I jumped on here in the end and didn't end up on the old manor over there. I've learnt a lot and my approach is going to be totally different when I come back next week. Not sure what lake I can get on, I'm going to have to just play it by ear and see what happens when I get here. But the fish showed up this afternoon and they showed up in big numbers and I definitely should have converted more bites. So yeah, going to go home and have a long hard think about what I could have done differently and definitely mix a few bits up and put a few new tricks in my armoury for when I next come back. All I've got is the net, and that's lonesome rod. We're all packed up. So that's it. Sadly my time has ran its course this session. 48 hours, I used every last minute of it. It's time to get back on my way, back to Cambridge, as it's the missus' birthday tomorrow. And thanks for watching guys, take it easy and I'll see you on the next one.